It's now been a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another episode of Perceptive Learning Zone. And today we talk about the CSS exam. This has been a very hot topic of discussion. I've been asked to talk about this matter in detail, and I was sort of kicking the can down the street and putting this off. But today I feel compelled to talk about it. It's a very vast domain, and I may not be able to do justice to it in just one sitting. So hopefully I'll be dividing it into different parts and we can discuss this in as much depth as possible. The reason why a detailed, in-depth scrutiny is required in CSS is because it is a very popular field of selection as far as higher career trajectories are concerned. So we have to make sure we address this matter in as much detail as possible. So today, let's introduce the subject. What is the CSS exam? So the CSS exam, which is also short for the Central Superior Services exam in Pakistan, it is a very rigorous and comprehensive evaluation process, which comprises of a written examination, then you got the medical examination, there's a psychological assessment, viva, aka interview. So this challenging examination serves as a gateway to prestigious career opportunities in various government departments and services. Successful candidates have the opportunity to fill vacant positions in diverse sectors. There are a lot of places where you can go to. You could go to the Commerce and Trade Group. There is the Customs and Excise Service. There is the Foreign Services of Pakistan. You got the Income Tax Group. After that, you got the Information Group. There is the Military Lands and Cantonment Group. आपके पास OMG की option है, Office Management Group. You got Pakistan Administrative Services, which is one of the most favorite division in CSS, if not the most favorite division. Then you got the Pakistan Audit and Account Service, followed by the Police Service of Pakistan, Postal Services Group, as well as Railways, which is also short for Commercial and Transportation Group, right? So with this extensive procedure that we see, the CSS exam is sort of aiming to identify candidates who possess academic ability and along with that, the attributes that are required for professional effective leadership in public service across a number of, let's say, crucial national sectors. So if we talk about the syllabus of the CSS exam, the CSS exam, it comprises of a comprehensive syllabus which covers a range of subjects. So it is divided into three groups. You got the MPT exam, which is sort of an MCQ-based preliminary test. Then you got compulsory subjects, and last but not least, you got optional subjects. So talking about this MCQ-based preliminary test, aka the MPT exam, it is the screening test that is conducted by the FPSC, that is short for Federal Public Service Commission, to shortlist a candidate for the CSS written examination. And the purpose of this exam is to make sure that only the focused, ambitious, serious, and of course eligible candidates, sort of appear at the CSF written examination. बहुत लोग इस चीज में नॉन सीरियस होते हैं कि हमारे पास 3 अटेम्प्ट्स हैं, तो चले हम पहले 2 अटेम्प्ट्स बस ऐसे ही एक शुगर मेले में देखते हैं कि आप कर सकते हैं नहीं करते, थर्ड अटेम्प्ट पे जाके फिर they sort of try to get a little bit geared up, and also that is the main focus to sort of differentiate between the serious lot and the one that are doing it just for the sake of completing a hobby or something. So this 200-mark exam, it comprises of 2 papers. You got general knowledge and ability, and apart from general knowledge and ability, you got current affairs. So the syllabus for the general knowledge and ability paper, it includes subjects such as English, Urdu, Islamic studies, ethics for non-Muslims. Then you got mathematics, there's general knowledge, and obviously there is analytical reasoning. While the syllabus for the current affairs paper includes subjects such as Pakistan affairs, international affairs, and obviously, as the word itself implies, current events. So once we are done with the MPT exam, next up we got our CSS compulsory subjects. So what are these CSS compulsory subjects? Well, first of all, you have English essay and composition. You could be asked to write an essay on one of various topics to sort of assess your ability to express ideas coherently, cohesively, to display an adequate range of vocabulary and showcase your aptitude when it comes to writing in in complex compound sentence form. Then you got the second subject being English, Pressy, and composition, in which you sort of evaluate your language skills. Then you have general science and ability, the third subject. General science and ability, it's a no-brainer. It is a test of general knowledge, analytical abilities, as well as logical reasoning. Then you got, fourthly, you have current affairs. The purpose of current affairs is to assess the candidate's awareness of national and international issues. It could be regarding politics, regarding bureaucracy, regarding sports, regarding hydropolitics, any sort of major issue that is prevailing in the world that is a hot spot of discussion. Then you have Pakistan affairs, in which they assess you on the basis of Pakistan's history, geography, as well as socio-political dynamics. And obviously, you have the sixth compulsory subject being Islamic studies, or for non-Muslims, you got comparative religion, a study of comparative religions. So in this, you evaluate the candidate's understanding of Islamic principles and comparative religions, the Abrahamic as well as the non-Abrahamic faiths. Then we talk about the optional subjects of CSS exam. So, ladies and gentlemen, the candidates are required to choose subjects from a list of optional subjects according to their preferences and academic background. There is no particular emphasis on any subject. It comes down to what suits you, what is tailor-made to suit your area of strength, and more importantly, what has scope for you in the near foreseeable future down the line. So this list includes subjects from various disciplines such as law, political science, and international relations. You got economics, you got accountancy and auditing, pure mathematics, and many more. And it is important for candidates to thoroughly review the CSS syllabus, which is provided by the Federal Public Service Commission. It can be downloaded online. And like I said before, just make sure you tailor your preparation strategies based on the specific requirements of each subject to maximize your chances of success in this rigorous and highly competitive examination. If we talk about the passing mark for the CSS exam, the passing marks for compulsory exams are 40%, 40. And for optional exams, well, last I checked, it was 33%. However, you need an aggregate of 600 out of 1,200 marks, that is, achieve a minimum of 50% in order to be eligible for the interview. The interview consists of 300 marks, and you need to pass it in order to get an allocation. In recent times, a candidate who gets 650 to 700 marks in a written examination and at least 150 marks in the interview finds his or her place in the list of successful candidates quite easily. Then, what are the venues of the written CSS exam? So the written CSS exam is conducted in a lot of areas all over Pakistan: Karachi, Islamabad, Lahore, Peshawar, Abbottabad, Bahawalpur, D.I. Khan, Dera Ghazi Khan, Faisalabad, Gilgit, Gujranwala. You can give it in Hyderabad, Huzdar, Larkana, Multan, Muzaffarabad, Okara, Quetta, Rawalpindi, Sargodha, Sialkot, Skardu, and Sakar. So obviously you got quite a lot of venues. Then what are the places of the CSS interview? That is the second stage. Well, in this case, we have limitations. It's primarily 5 major cities: Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad, Peshawar, and Quetta, as far as your interview is concerned. Then people ask, how do we prepare for the CSS exam? So, before that, let's talk about how do we apply for the CSS exam. So the advertisement of the CSS exam, which reflects the dates, ladies and gentlemen, that is published in newspapers in September each year. You have to deposit the exam fee in the nearest government treasury or State Bank of Pakistan or the National Bank of Pakistan under the account head CO2101 Organs of State Exam Fee. The FPS issues are received, so you don't have to worry too much about it. Then you have to fill in the online application form on the official website of FPSC and take a printout, a hard copy that is of the same online form. And then you dispatch the hard copy of the online form along with copies of your documents and your bank receipt to the FPSC headquarters that is in Islamabad. So then next up, if we talk about the list of subjects, right, the different groups, So what happens is that you have, as far as subject selection is concerned, you have different groups. Obviously, you got the compulsory subjects, which you have to take. It is mandatory, period. The total of 600 marks, that is your compulsory subject. So it has 6 subjects of 100 marks each, which combine to give 600. So you've got English essay, you got English prescient composition, you got general science and ability. Then there is current affairs, followed by Pakistan affairs, and last but not least, Islamic studies or comparative study of major religions in the case of non-Muslims. So after that comes group 1, in which you have to select any one subject, which is of 200 marks, and all the subjects in these groups, they are of 200 marks. So in number 1, accountancy and auditing, then you have economics, then you have computer science, political science, and international relations. ये सब जो है 200 marks से होते हैं, and you have to select any one of them. Then next up you have group 2. That's of 200 marks, right? And you have physics, chemistry, applied mathematics, pure mathematics, statistics, as well as geology. After that, you have group 3. That is of 100 marks. So in fact, correction, group 1 and 2 are also 100 marks. Sorry about that. Group 3 is of 100 marks, right? So you got business administration, you got public administration, governance and public policies, as well as town planning and urban management. All of them are 100 marks each, and you select any one subject. Then we talk about group 4. You have first subject being history of Pakistan and India, followed by Islamic history and culture. Then there is British history, European history, and finally history of USA. All 100 marks, but आपने कोई सा एक select करना होता है. Then you have group 5 that also has around 7 subjects of 100 marks each, right? So you got gender studies, you got environmental sciences, agriculture and forestry, botany, zoology, English literature, as well as Urdu literature. In group 6, you have around 7 different subjects, right? Law, constitutional law, international law, Muslim law and jurisprudence, mercantile law, criminology, as well as philosophy. Then we move on to group 7, ladies and gentlemen, the final group in which you have different number of subjects, right? You got journalism and mass communication, you got psychology, you got geography, sociology, anthropology, and then obviously the languages, Punjabi, Sindhi, Pashto, Balochi, Persian, and Arabic. So it's good practice to refer to someone who's already given this exam or the different academies that sort of help you in these subject selections as well. Just make sure you pick those subjects that are relevant to your future field of interest, and obviously if it's sort of gel in or coordinate with your strong zones. Don't give yourself any unnecessary challenges. CSS exam already by itself is very challenging. So yeah, try to keep it as simple as possible. So that is it for now, fellows. I hope this was beneficial for you. We'll be back in the next episode, and we'll be talking about CSS in much more detail. So please stay tuned. Thank you very much and have a good evening. Assalamu alaikum.